because it's sunny, but it's not all that warm yet. Oh, pop your arm through. Good boy. There you go. Loving the hairdo, by the way. It's like a real classic cook hairdo. Don't you just find in weather like this, you have to feel positive? And I definitely do feel positive, because today I have got 10,000 subscribers. Oh yeah!
Congratulations, Daddy.
Thank you. Well, really, it's all your hard work, Jasper, so congratulations to you too. What incredible weather. Oh yes. So today is actually the day that I got 10,000 subscribers. The morning, which is why I'm going on about it. You know, 10,000 is a good milestone. I'm quite chuffed with that. And I want to say a massive thank you to all my subscribers and all the people who have supported me over the last sort of 10 months as I've been sort of building this channel, and hopefully there's lots more fun to come. So, time to get Jasper. I have been terribly lazy. Terribly. I've spent most of the morning sleeping. Yeah, that's not so good. But, you know, I really needed a bit of extra sleep. Because yesterday I was very much about as tired as I like to be. Especially when I'm having to drive my family around. I'll get myself in a tangle. Okay. Right, Jasper. You're going to give me a little hand now, aren't you? Because I need to go do a quick bit of shopping. And you're going to come with me. Ready? Brilliant. Let's go.
What is that one called?
That's a Toyota. My quick mission for the day is to try. That's a Nissan, Jasper. I like Nissans. Yeah, so my mission for today is to try and get a better, well, camera backpack is what I'm going to call it. Because at the moment, I have a bit of a problem if I want to use this big camera out and about. And now that I've hit 10,000 subscribers, it definitely seems like time to use the big camera in public. Yeah, I'm a bit, what's the right phrase? It is a bit obvious, this camera, though. Here you go, Jazzy. Here you go. Well, I'm really actually quite chuffed with that. That bag will do the job fine. And it's a good example of the occasion when actually it's not all that helpful. Hang on, Jasper. Buying stuff online. See, if I'd bought that online, I wouldn't know with absolute certainty that it would fit what I need. Yeah. Got some star monsters for good behaviour, didn't you? I do like using the big camera out and about. Ultra wide is my favourite. Oh, I'm supposed to be talking about TVs, I think, aren't I? One of the reasons I went with this bag was in the hope that it would fit here. Oh, like a glove. Yeah, that one is for the win. Okay, now I've got to get cracking on my editing because today's video is way late. It's been a nice day, but I feel like I've wasted most of it by being asleep. At the same time, sometimes you've just got to have a bit of time off and unwind and catch back up with things like sleep. That was today. Should we see what star monsters you got then? See, when you're a good boy without being asked to be a good boy, then you get nice treats. You just have to be a good boy and then life is generally better. One of the things I'm going to talk about today is second-hand prices of EVs. Because there's basically a couple of different things going on with second-hand EV prices. You might have noticed that Tesla in particular has really good residual values, whereas other EVs, not so much. So here's the thing about Tesla. Basically, there's a couple of reasons why I think they hold their value so well as second-hand cars. Firstly, you've got the fact that it's a desirable brand, and you can't really buy a new one unless you spend a lot of money. So to get into that brand in an affordable fashion, you basically have to buy a second-hand car. But that desire to buy second-hand cars obviously creates a mismatch between supply and demand, coupled with the fact that people often hold on to them for quite a while because, you know, they're good cars. And when they do sell them, they tend to sell them back to Tesla. And that's the other reason why I think the residuals are so good with Tesla. Because Tesla will give you a really quite decent price for your second-hand Model S, what that means is that they can control that second-hand market to some extent and ensure that the residuals are high, which obviously benefits Tesla because it means that people are more likely to buy the cars because they know that they don't depreciate like rocks, unlike some other EVs out there, which is the problem with other EVs. You do get people who buy them thinking the range will be sufficient, only to find that it actually isn't, and then they sell them on and get a Prius or something like that. Anyway, I don't know exactly what they sell them on and get. The point is that ensures there's a higher supply of cars coming to the second-hand market, and because often the original manufacturers of those cars don't ensure that the second-hand value is high, availability sometimes outstrips demand, or at least is much better matched to demand than it is with Tesla. Because honestly, if Teslas could be sold at half the price, there's no way Tesla could make enough of them. I mean, that's what the Gigafactory is for, to try and solve that exact problem. So that's the thing. So you do have to be a bit careful buying a first-hand EV if you're not going to lease it and have a guaranteed handback value, because you could get stung on second-hand prices. I mean, that sort of happened to me. I paid £23,000, I think it was, for a first-gen Nissan Leaf, and I sold it 2 years later for £9,000. And that wasn't a bad price, because I'd done 36,000 miles in it by then. Tesla, on the other hand, I had that for 2 years, done 46,000 miles, and I inquired about what the trade-in value they could give me was, and they came back saying basically a bit above 2/3 what I paid for the car, and I'd done 46,000 miles. Whereas with the Nissan Leaf, quite a bit under 50% of what I paid for it. So there you have it. That's that two sort of juxtapositions between basically Tesla and other EVs. Now, I don't want to hand my car back. The reason why this has sort of come up is, firstly, one of my subscribers suggested that I talk about it. So, you know, I like to take suggestions and make videos about them where I can. And it also ties in quite neatly because hopefully in a few days' time, Soph is going to have a test drive in a Model X. Now, I don't think it's going to be like a 24-hour test drive. I think it's going to be like an hour. And I don't know how they're going to feel about me filming. We'll talk to her afterwards and see what she thinks about it. Let's just finish off Michael's topic suggestion, which was the bit about tuning. I don't really think there's a huge amount of tuning that you can do with electric vehicles. Honestly, there are differences that you can make. I suppose you can reduce the weight, put on grippier tyres, wider wheels. Much beyond that, it's not like a petrol or diesel car where you can swap out a few parts and transform the way the power is delivered and, you know, how high the revs will go and stuff like that. I mean, it really, you've got to get down into the software if you want to modify a Tesla, and that is something that can be done, but it's not something that your average garage has got the right skill set for at the moment. I think that will be something that will change though over time. I mean, already, certainly in the US, where they are definitely a year or two ahead of us, there is quite a healthy ecosystem of people who are taking Teslas to bits and finding out how to modify certain components and improve the dynamics of the vehicle and the look of it and all that sort of thing. And I think that's something that will definitely come over to the UK and to other places where Tesla is sold. How much you're going to get that with the lower end EVs, probably not the ones which are being sold at the moment, if I'm being totally honest, but the ones that will hopefully turn up soon, that will have a longer range, if they sell in decent numbers, and that's basically the point. If lots of people buy them, then a percentage of those customers are going to want to modify their vehicle. And The fact that they have the desire means that there will be businesses that will spring up to satisfy that. So there you go. That's what I think when it comes to tuning and customization of EVs. I think also though, just one final point on the second-hand value of EVs. I do think that the eventual lowest price for EVs is actually higher than it is for a petrol or diesel vehicle, because even when a battery has reached its end of useful life in an EV, it can still have a whole second life in stationary storage. I would be very surprised if they ever just wound up in a breaker's yard being sold for 10-20 quid. Okay, I've got to go attend to Jasper now because everything is getting so late, it's ridiculous. Thank you again for supporting the channel. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you have, remember to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already, and follow me on Instagram if you don't already. And I'll see you tomorrow for the next installment of my daily vlog. Bye.
There's an avatar starting to drive.
I swear this boy would just spend the entire day doing nothing but looking at cars if you gave him the chance. Okay, so